Hey rich friends, when most people think about building wealth, all they think about is starting a business. And to be very transparent with you, the easiest and fastest way to build wealth is by owning equity, and most people own equity by starting their own business. However, starting and running a business is not for everyone. What if you like your 9-to-5 job and you actually like your career and want to grow in it? Maybe your personality type is just not cut out for the spotlight of being a CEO or marketing or selling, or maybe you just don't have the time. Maybe you're married, you have multiple children, you have multiple commitments, you don't really have the time to go starting a company. Whether you're an employee or you're starting a business, building wealth is possible to everyone, because wealth building, when it comes down to it, is just a skill. I'm going to share with you actionable steps to build wealth as an employee. If you are new here, I am a CFA Charter Holder and I'm a former investment banker. I spent over 7 years advising millionaires and billionaires on how to make, keep, and grow their money. And on this channel, I love to share strategies to help you build wealth. Since you click on this video, building wealth is one of your life goals, so you should definitely subscribe to the channel and give this video a like if you find it helpful. The first step of building wealth, like every other goal, is to define what wealth means to you. Without a vision, the people perish. If you're not clear on what building wealth is to you, if you're not clear on what the goal is, it is very impossible for you to hit it. People define wealth as different things. For me, wealth is achieving financial freedom. For me, being wealthy is I've gotten to a place in my finances where I can make decisions in my life without worrying about money. I want to be able to make a purchase without asking myself if I can afford it. I want to be able to make a career decision without thinking about how it's going to negatively impact my cash flow or my net worth. I want to think about where I live without it being tied to money making. That's what wealth means for me. Financial freedom. Wealth can mean many different things for you. Wealth can mean having enough to walk away from a toxic job so that you can have time to look for a job that you actually like. Wealth can mean retiring early for you. You may want to stop working in the next 5 to 10 years. Wealth can mean having enough money for yourself, for your extended family, to be able to fund philanthropic ambitions. Whatever it is, like, wealth can mean very different things for different people. But the very first step is that you need to get clear on what wealth means to you. And this is important because most goals will require action from you. And most of the action that the goals require are typically challenging. They will require delayed gratification. It may be hard, it may be painful, it may be long. And the why, knowing your why before you embark on any goal, is going to be so crucial in keeping you motivated, in helping you to endure the challenging activities that you may have to engage in to achieve that goal. So starting with why is so important because it's going to drive every step that we're going to talk about in the rest of the video. Second thing that you need to do if you want to build wealth is to master money management. I said earlier that building wealth is a skill. Well, the first principles of building wealth is for you to consistently invest the difference between your income and your expenses, and to invest it in an asset class that has the highest possible amount of return while managing your risk. That is the first principles of wealth building. Now let's break it down. It is consistently investing the difference between your income and your expenses. That's what I like to call your margin on this channel. Now your margin is very, very accurately tied to your income and your expenses. But because you are an employee, you have a 9-to-5, most times your income is fixed. The only thing that you can affect is your expenses. That's what you have complete 100% control over. Your income, is determined by your company, the market, whatever industry that you're working in. But your expense is completely controlled by you. This is why this step is very important. Your margin is the single most important defining number in you building wealth. And I have a video about the numbers that you need to think about and you need to be aware of if you want to build wealth. I'll link that up here. But your margin is the most important number. So what you need to do as an employee is you need to find every means possible to increase your margin. And the only way to do that is to understand how to manage your money. You need to know how to budget accurately. You need to know how to save quickly. You need to know where to put your savings. You need to know what to invest your margin in. And all this comes down to how you manage your money. But back to how to increase your margin. There are two things that I recommend here. The first thing is for you to set a savings target, a savings or investment target from your income without even thinking about your expenses. What is the most convenient number that you can save every month? maybe it's 20%, maybe it's a figure like $2,000 or $5,000. That is your margin that you want to invest every month. Think about that figure like a bill. It should become a non-negotiable for you, and you need to pay yourself first. What that means is you want to automate the deduction of that amount from your paycheck every month into a high yield savings account or a taxable brokerage account. And I talk about the 6 accounts that you need to build wealth in another video that I will link up here. But the key is that you want to automate the deduction of that amount from your paycheck. You want that money to leave your account every single month, come rain or shine. That number needs to be like a bill. You need to think about it like debt payment, something that you cannot get out of. Like, let's say you earn $10,000 a month and you decided to save $5,000 a month. What that means is you are going to need to rewire your brain to tell yourself that all you have is $5,000. All you earn is $5,000. You need that the other $5,000, you need to completely forget about that money. That money is not money that you can spend. It's not money that you can give away. It is not discretionary money. That is money that you owe yourself and you have to pay it every single month. Once you have that down, then you need to figure out how to live with the rest of the money that you have. And the only way to do this is to track your expenses diligently. You need to know how much you spend on food, on rent, on transport, on subscription, on fun. Like every bucket of your finances, you need to be very clear on how much you spend on those. And you want to consistently be thinking about how you can optimize them. What can you cut out? What subscription do you no longer need? Can you move to a lower cost of living area? Can you move to the suburbs where you are paying less in rent than if you decide to live in the city? Like, what trade-offs can you make? You want to be on top. You want to think about your money as a business. You want to think about your money as a corporation, and you want to manage it very diligently. The third thing you need to do if you want to build wealth is that you need to invest in yourself. I say it again on this channel that you are your most important asset. And when most people think about their net worth, they forget about something that is very powerful, which is called human capital. Most people only think about financial capital. How much do I have in savings? How much do I have invested? But you forget about yourself. You are also an asset. But the value of your assets depends on how much you've invested in yourself. For example, somebody who has a CFA Charter, an MBA, a BSc, some other certifications in high earning skills or careers probably most likely has a higher human capital than somebody who has just a high school degree, right? Your human capital can be increased. You can increase your human capital by investing in yourself. And the way to do this is within your career. First of all, if you are in a low paying career, you need to ask yourself, can you switch careers? Switching careers is very possible, especially if you are in your 20s or your 30s. If you retire like most people when they are 65, you still have about 4 decades ahead of you to have a job, 4 decades of a career ahead of you. It is not too late to switch careers. You can change careers, you can go back to school, you can get a part-time job, you can do a part-time MBA and switch careers. For most people, an MBA is one way to switch careers very easily, and you can do that. That's step 1. But if you are already in a high-paying career, then you need to think about how do you move up, right, in that career. What are the skills that you need to learn? For most people, the skills you need to learn to move up in your career are typically soft skills. These are leadership skills, networking, public speaking, just confidence, presence, being able to carry yourself, negotiation, sales. These are soft skills that if you learn them, they would significantly improve your human capital. You need to do a SWOT analysis of yourself as an asset. SWOT means strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. You need to look at yourself objectively and say, me as an asset, looking at my human capital, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What opportunities do I have? And what are the threats to my career? And you want to be diligent in strengthening your weaknesses and eliminating your threats. So upskilling is very important. And sometimes it could just be as simple as learning a skill on YouTube, reading books, listening to podcasts, networking with the right people, choosing the right hobbies like golf, tennis to improve your networking skills. Like upskilling and investing in yourself most time costs less than most people think that it costs. As you begin to upskill, you want to get audacious with asking for raises. Yeah, Closed mouths don't get fed. You want to take up higher visibility projects at your place of work. You want to raise your hand up for difficult tasks. You want to network with the right people at work and continue to ask for a raise once you qualify for it. You want to get promoted as quickly as possible. And if possible, you want to change jobs. Research has showed us that people that switch careers, more frequently get a higher income, a higher salary increase than those that stay in the same job. So if you're upskilling yourself, you are being visible within your industry, hey, you may think about switching firms. Maybe switching firms will give you a higher title and give you a pay bump. Or maybe you can, let's say you're in professional services, for example, you can go into industry and get a higher title as well as a higher salary. According to ADP, job switchers saw a salary increase of 7.7% whenever they switch jobs. And that is most times higher than people who stay in the same job. Now, another great thing I like within this point is you may want to consider working for companies that offer stock options. Yes, there are many companies that will give you equity in the company even though you are an employee. And as I said earlier, the easiest and fastest way to build wealth is to own equity. You can own equity in a startup. Many tech companies offer equity, and many other new companies are beginning to offer equity to their employees. So you want to look into, earning equity in the company that you currently work for. If you work in professional services, this will look like becoming a partner, growing as fast as you can and becoming a partner in your company. That way you are, tied, you are earning some part of the company's, overall profit. This is a very important step because it enables you to increase your income. And as your income increases, if you keep your expenses the way they are and you avoid lifestyle creep, you can completely blow up your margin. And your margin is important, especially for the next point. The fourth step that you need to do here is you need to invest as much as possible. Investing your margin in an asset that gives you the highest possible return at a manageable level of risk. So after the step 1 to 3 were all about your margin. In step 4, I want you to invest as much as possible. Most people just save their money, and they save their money in a checkings account. By the way, again, if you've not watched my video about the 6 important accounts that you need to have if you want to build wealth, you should definitely go and watch that video, especially if you are an employee and you're trying to build wealth with a 9-to-5. That video is going to be so powerful for you. Now back to this point, you want to invest your money as much as possible. For most people, this will be index funds or ETFs. ETFs are typically like a basket of securities. What that means is that the risk is diversified. You are not exposing yourself to the risk of a single stock. Now, if you invest in index fund or ETF consistently over a period of time, for a long period of time, your rate of return will be higher than somebody who just invests a small amount of money in a stock and they are consistently selling it. As I'm recording this video, the 5-year average return on the S&P 500 is about 14.25%. So that means that if you are investing 10K in the S&P 500, you will be earning as high as 1,400 per year. If you are investing 100K, you are earning about 14K a year. And this is not even considering compound interest. So putting your money in an index fund or in other diversified basket of securities over a long period of time is the way they are going to maximize your opportunities to build wealth. And the key thing about investing is starting early. Start today. Compound interest is your best friend if you want to build wealth as an employee, and the earlier you get started, the better. You want to max out your retirement account. You want to live as frugally as possible. Invest in ETFs, index funds, single name stocks if you feel confident about the fundamentals. And the most surefire way to invest consistently is to automate your investing. Again, think about it like money that is a bill. You have to do it. Like nothing should eat into the amount of money that you are investing. Step 5 is side hustles. With your 9-to-5, if you have a regular 9-to-5, that means you actually only work 8 hours a day. First of all, you are living the life. But if you have a true 9-to-5, you still have at least 4 to 6 hours every day that you can leverage for a side hustle. Yeah, there are 24 hours in a day. If you sleep 8 hours and you work 8 hours, that's 16 hours. You still have another 8 hours. Let's say you spend 2 hours of that 8 hours on dressing up, going to work and coming back. You have 46 hours every single day that you can leverage to build a second multiple sources of income for yourself. Side hustles are great because many of them don't require you to leave your job. Many of them also do not require you to be the public face of anything. You can start many side hustles without anybody knowing your name. There are multiple videos here on YouTube about side hustles, and I'm going to be making videos on side hustles very soon. So definitely subscribe if you want to see that. But side hustles are a tremendous way that you can increase your margin by increasing your income. You can leverage your weekends. You can dedicate 8 hours on your weekends to work on your side hustle. And most times your side hustles can even come from hobbies, things that you already do for fun, but you are able to monetize. Like I have a friend who does embroidery, very beautiful embroidery. She does it for fun. Imagine if she takes that and she begins to sell her embroidered items, as a side hustle. That is easy, $500, take $1,000 every month that can go directly into investing, directly into building wealth for you as an employee. And the last thing that you need to do, and this is again one of the most important things, if you want to build wealth as an employee, is that you need to be patient. Time is a very important factor in the wealth building journey. There is no get rich quick scheme. There is no elevator to millionaire status. There's no elevator to financial freedom. Everybody has to get there. Take it one step at a time. One step at a time. Time is your friend. You need to be patient, especially as an employee. Building wealth for you may take longer than someone who starts up a high growth tech startup and sells it and becomes a multimillionaire overnight. For you, it will take a longer period of time, but that's fine because you are able to build wealth whilst you prioritizing the things that are important to you, and that could be growing in your career, it could be spending time with your family, it could just be not taking on the stress of being an entrepreneur or being the CEO of a startup, which is very stressful, by the way. But you need to be patient. You need to start early and you need to just put your money in there. Don't be reactive to what's happening in the stock market. Don't be reactive to what's happening in the economy. Just relax, take a chill pill, and let time and compound interest do its job. I'm sure you have found this video helpful, so please give this video a thumbs up if you watched it to the end. As I mentioned in this video, you need to watch my video about the 6 core accounts that you need to build wealth. I'm going to link that up here for you to go and watch. I'll see you in my next video, but until then, stay rich and build wealth. Bye!